we will dive into some of our beekeeping here. Everybody should have received the newsletter last night. And in there, we have a little link for you guys to take a survey. It's, I think, 5 questions. But we'd love to get your feedback just to hear what you guys have been loving. If there's things you haven't been loving and you wish we could improve, let us know. We want to make sure that we're making this the best program possible for each of you. So I know we've already received some really great feedback, but if you haven't taken a couple of minutes to complete that, that would be awesome. But that's really it for this week. Next week, we have some big things coming. We're working on a couple more marketing materials, but we'll be excited to share with you who we have with us on the schedule next week. And then we'll go into the competitions really quickly, just so I don't forget at the end of today. But this week, our Buzz Point winner was Megan Berry, and for the weekly competition, Liz Sandler won for the How You've Pivoted Your Business. So this week, for week 6, we're going to have everybody identify your community and tell us a little bit about it. Share this response with me, or you can even comment on the Facebook post that will be going up this afternoon, and you'll be entered to win a free month of membership. So that's this week's competition. And with all of that being said, I'm going to hand this off to Cory now. He's going to share with us a little bit on working with local brands. He is the co-founder at Mitten Crate and the managing partner at Great Lakes Proud. So I know I'm super excited to tune in, and I'm going to switch my screen share and let Cory take it from here.
Awesome. I don't know if I have that deck though up here. I thought I was just using yours.
Yes, so I just have to just switch the screen out.
Okay.
So I couldn't figure out how to merge the 2 PowerPoints. Oh. Sorry, guys. Operator error. There's my little button. All right. So now we should have everything good to go.
Okay, so it's still on your screen, so you can probably just click for me. Is that okay?
Yeah, that works.
Cool. All right. So, hey, everybody. I'm Cory. Just like Connor said, I founded Mitten Crate in 2013, and I've been the basically general partner, do-all guy for Great Lakes Proud for the past year. My whole life kind of revolves around dealing with local products, specifically products from Michigan. We started Mitten Crate at first just like a food subscription box for all like local food companies, and that's kind of morphed into just being a larger catch-all gift box, corporate gift, event gift type store for all Michigan-made products. Still mostly food, a lot of food ancillary items, so you're like coffee mugs, cutting boards, that type of stuff, and then just like other fun Michigan stuff we like candles or keychains and things like that. And then I jumped on board with Great Lakes Proud, like I said, about a year ago. That company was actually founded in 2011 by a good buddy of mine, Austin Holzinger. I'm sure you've seen countless stickers on the backs of cars. It's the outlines of the states. We do a bunch of just original stickers. We've got probably like 20 or 30 other designs of like United States flag or Petoskey Stone or Sunset, all that type of stuff. And then we also do a lot of NCAA stickers. So we have Michigan and Michigan State, and then we have some of the smaller universities in Michigan as well, with like their licensed logos on the stickers. So that's kind of my little background. I guess I'm here today to talk about working with local brands. Kind of, you want to go to the next slide? So when they first asked me what is important about local and what's important about kind of this whole universe of buying local and why does supporting local make sense, and why should we support local, and how do you support local, I kind of basically broke it down into three things. And the first thing is just community. So like, what does local look like? And that really plays into where you're at from like a regional standpoint. So for what I do, everything is very Michigan focused, but you have other, localities like around the United States. Like you have, New York, where everything is very like New York City focused, or maybe San Francisco focused. You have Pacific Northwest, you have like a whole region kind of up there that kind of all falls under the same thing. So I think defining your community is really important when choosing to support local. It could be anything. It could be USA made, like that's still technically, supporting local in a lot of people's eyes. It could be Midwest, the Great Lakes region, Michigan, Detroit only, Ann Arbor only, Traverse City only. You can get kind of as granular as you really want to. And then each of those local communities kind of has its own culture applied to it. So Denver's a perfect example. I know a bunch of people who've moved out to Denver. They have an amazing food culture. It's like a really weird blend mashup of a lot of like Southwest inspired stuff with kind of like your kind of good old boy meat and potatoes type stuff. Really fun food scene. Obviously they have the marijuana culture, which is huge with the decriminalization a few years ago. So you have all sorts of very mainstream, marijuana, weed culture, whatever in there, and that's kind of pocketed in there. Obviously outdoor culture. Denver and just the surrounding Colorado is amazing for basically anything you want to do outdoors. You want to do fly fishing, you want to do mountain biking, camping, hiking, running, basically anything outdoors. And then they have a huge, independent art and music scene. If you've ever been out there, you've been to a concert at Red Rocks. It's like probably one of the coolest music venues in the entire United States. And they get semi-local stuff that plays there, as well as like huge, giant, DJ acts and 10-piece bands and stuff like that. So that kind of wraps up community. The second one is compassion. So this probably for me is at the core of what is the most important about being local. I think that you have to have some level of compassion for everybody around you, and realizing that, especially in what we do, is, businesses, unfortunately at times, like you have to make money in order to survive. But I think that, making money isn't necessarily the first thing that you ever need to worry about. So that being said, all of your competition, if you're in a localized environment, yes, they are competition in the traditional sense, but I kind of view it as like co-opetition, where you even though you are competing for the same dollars from consumers, you still have to work together to kind of build the whole community of, buying local up. So for Mid and Crate, like we're a gift box shop. We've worked with other gift box stores in the past. We've worked with other vendors who do a lot of their own gift boxes and stuff like that. A lot of cross promotion back and forth, because at the end of the day, it's all about lifting, us up. And if we sell more gift boxes, and that's probably going to be better for a company like Citybird to sell more of their branded stuff, and then also for them to sell gift boxes to local businesses and stuff as well. And that kind of, the second bullet point is pretty self-explanatory. Working together to embolden the community as a whole has a rising tide effect. So the more that we can kind of all band together and think of ways to collaborate and really not be in it for just our own business or our own focus, is probably going to be the force multiplier in driving everybody up. And then the last one is connections. So you can't do anything alone. And especially, the idea of building a local community and being part of the, local business environment and stuff like that. It's all about your different connections and, who you know and what you know and how you can kind of access those connections. So tying back into the last one, the compassion for other stakeholders is your foundation for success. Basically, you should look at everybody as your equal that's in the same environment. And you shouldn't have the idea of, like say you're starting a candle company or something like that. Like you shouldn't view other local candle companies as like an enemy. Like, yes, they are, competition, and, if you're at the same markets and stuff like that, obviously you would want people to buy your candles over the other candles. But at the same time, the type of person that buys your candles is going to be the same type of person who buys their candles and vice versa. So, working together and having that compassion and, doing collaborations and doing things like that to bring people together will only, be more successful for both of you in the long run. Build a network of like-minded individuals. This is pretty paramount. I think that, there's a lot of people in the local community in different aspects, and we're kind of always texting each other back and forth with just like little answers or look this over or something along those lines. Some people call it like a mastermind group, or something. There's a bunch of different like kind of names for it out there in business. But I think at its core, just you want to build a network of people who are trying to do the same things as you, either in the exact same market or an ancillary market, or even just in the same like local like culture space. And somebody that you can kind of reach out to if you're playing around with somebody, or maybe you need like a referral for production or manufacturing or consulting or design or something like that. Kind of like a little network of people that kind of like all help each other work together. And the last part for connections is basically forging bonds will create a more sustainable ideology. The more people that you have in your wheelhouse, like the stronger that ideology grows. So I remember when we came up with the idea for Mitten Crate, it was buying local food was something you did at farmers markets and craft shows and stuff like that. And then as that kind of grew, you saw Meyer and Kroger and these like big name stakeholders, dedicate a lot more of their resources, floor space, and what have you, to picking up and promoting local products. And so that's kind of all of the connections that have been made 10 years ago to 7 years ago to 6 years ago to 4 years ago, kind of just keeps building and building and building and building on each other. And then that's why you can go to now pretty much any grocery store in Michigan, and they're going to have some sort of a local product section, or a natural food section, or something along those lines. And so, yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah. So what we'll do now, we can open this up. If anybody has any questions or anything that immediately comes to mind, feel free to drop those in the Q&A or in the chat, and we can read those aloud. That way, I know a lot of people are kind of just talking about their markets, their target markets this morning, trying to get people thinking about who might be in their community. But if anybody has any questions, now is your chance. And it looks like Eli popped right in. Cory, what is your favorite couple of local businesses?
God, this is so hard. So my background is in like the restaurant and like food hospitality industry. So a lot of my favorite businesses are going to be restaurants. Some that come to the top of my head right now are places like She Wolf and Selden Standard are both absolutely amazing. Mabel Gray is also absolutely amazing. Bobian, downtown Detroit, which is right across the street from Bees, which is another awesome business. I think
I'm here right now too.
What's that?
I said I think Kat is with us right now too.
Oh, nice, fantastic. Yeah, their flavors. I mean, like unbelievable. I can't be biased, but if so there's not that many people here, I can say like it's probably my favorite like jam company in all of Michigan, and there's quite a few jam companies. And outside of that, Tate Design Co. I don't know if anybody's familiar with them. Absolutely like phenomenal company. Yeah, I feel like I could just like keep just like listing like random companies that like I really like, but I'll stop now.
And then Emily chimed in here too. What are some of the ways that you've worked with other gift box suppliers?
So we've done things where we've kind of collaborated for different events and shows. We have worked with each other kind of behind the scenes to help each other, secure different things, whether it's like, box suppliers or getting together to like buy a larger amount of product to split up between, 2 or 3 of us, to get like deeper discounts when you're buying wholesale. And kind of more, I would say like creative ways like that, like not necessarily cross promoting on our website or being, like hyper transparent, like us doing an Instagram post of like another company's, like gift box, but more kind of like behind the scenes stuff. Lots of brain trust sessions, lots of kind of just, going out for like a beer or two and just talking about the problems and, how we face different problems. And, well, what do you guys use for shipping? And, oh, well, we use this for shipping. This is how we do this. This is how we get this discount. This is how, these are the different rates for different sizes of boxes. So try to do this. So it's just kind of like trials and tribulations that both of the companies have gone through, and then coming together and just sharing those, and then being like, oh, actually, like we do struggle with that, so I will take that idea. Or, oh, you do know a guy that does this, that, or the next thing that like we've been looking to do, or we've been doing it internally forever, and it's like a huge pain, and this would be so much easier. So I would say probably like a lot, especially with gift box companies in like specifically, it's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff.
And then I have here, Angela said, I like how he said co-opetition, kind of. I'm not saying it right, but she chimed there. I thought that was a really great way to kind of look at it. I know there's other groups too that kind of talk about the community over competition and how you leverage that together. So I think that's a really great way to kind of just combine it all into one. Good. Looks like those are a few questions. Does anybody else have any other questions? You guys can also raise your hands if you guys want to talk and chat. Just let me know. I can give you that ability. If not, this was really great, Cory. I really appreciate you coming on here and chatting with us. Talking.
Yeah, no problem.
I think that there is a lot to be said, especially right now and during this time. It's like so nice to be able to find ways to come together. And I think that's like, even though we physically can't be together, finding people you can lean on is really cool. And it looks like Laura just popped up with a question. Cory, what's next for Mitten Crate and how have you pivoted?
So we have some pretty big stuff that's going to happen this year. Some stuff I can't really say right now, but I would look for, what I can say is we're going to be doing a lot more personalization and customization of the boxes. So things where like now you can add like notes and stuff to boxes, but it's just like through the like order form sheet. Like we're going to transfer those into doing handwritten notes in the boxes. We're going to have boxes where you can kind of like pick and choose different items, and then like add specific things to kind of like make the box something that like who it's ever going to get that box would like it. So especially things that are very divisive. So we have we do a lot of stuff in people giving gifts for like the college space. The two biggest colleges, obviously U of M and Michigan State. So people always want to like add something for that to another box. We're going to like kind of allow some stuff like that. And just a little bit more creative way to just like pick and choose different things on the boxes. So that way everybody's not stuck with whatever I think is the best things. So
that's awesome. And then we did have another question pop up here from Liz. How do you decide what products to select for the boxes?
So I'm going to ramble on this for a minute or two to kind of just like show the evolution of what happened. So in the very beginning, we were just doing food products. And so it was kind of, we just wanted anything that was different or new or that we hadn't used or whatever the case may be. So it was always, we were going to events, we were asking our friends, we were in people that we were putting in boxes, so if we got, like Tara from Gus and Gray that I have right here, when we put her stuff in a box, I would ask Tara, hey, who else is like in the community right now that like you value, you trust, and has a good product, and who we should reach out to. So it was a lot of us kind of just trying to spread our wings as far as possible, and cast the widest net to get a bunch of different products. That has kind of shifted over time to now we have tried to basically use the best products in the particular space. So that way there's not too many options. So for instance, like I love hot sauce. Like, and it's like one thing, you go in my fridge, I have like all the bigger stuff in the bottom for like wine bottles and stuff like that. And like where most people normally put all of their condiments, I have like 2 things of mustard and then like 12 bottles of hot sauce. And then I have unopened bottles of hot sauce in the pantry, in the cupboard, and stuff like that. But if you're a consumer and you're trying to figure out like what hot sauce to buy, if you have 20 choices, it makes it a little bit hard. And when a lot of them are pretty similar, so we try to not have as a lot of crossover when it comes to the products. And a lot of products are released. There's a lot of companies that do like granola, mustards, or a lot of companies who do hot sauces and things like that. And so it's harder now because while we have access to a lot more companies, if I pick up like a ghost pepper hot sauce, I'm not going to have ghost pepper hot sauce from like 4 different companies. I'm probably just going to choose one. And then I'll choose another hot sauce that is super smoky. And then I'll choose another hot sauce that like maybe isn't super duper hot, and things like that. And so it's more about kind of managing, instead of having, every single product available, we try to like pick and choose what we think is the best in particular categories. And a lot of that also falls on back to like the presentation is like the connections and the community and the culture and all that stuff. And, like now, being in business for 7 years, I'm more apt to probably use somebody that I have a very good personal and professional relationship than, somebody new off the block. And the reason for that being is we've seen a lot of companies start and fold either very quickly or over a long period of time. And so to just give our business a little bit of resiliency, we don't like to use brand new companies right off the bat for like something that we would be replacing something else for. When we pick up brand new companies, we really want that to be like a unique product for like whatever that particular company is doing.
So. Oh, cool. And then it looks like too, we had another question pop up again from Laura. A local restaurant here in Clarkston is offering boxes of fresh veggies, fruits, and even one for cleaning supplies to help customers who don't want to go to the grocery store. Do you have any box bundles like that?
We don't. And we when all of this kind of started happening, we talked, like the partners and I talked, and it was like, what should we do if we do anything? And we decided that we're just going to do what we've been doing. And the reason being is there's a lot of companies that are way better suited, like this company in Clarkston, who's local, where you can like go pick it up, or, bigger, larger, national brands and stuff like that, that will be able to help people better than we could with whatever that particular space is, over just giving a gift box. So we were like, in this time, a lot of people, our sales have picked up tremendously because people can't go see people. So every day it's, the things that you would normally go out to dinner for a friend's birthday, or go see your, mom and dad for their anniversary, or whatever the case is. We're seeing a lot of those, in transition into gifts that are still local. We've always seen a lot of gifts that are far away. So maybe somebody from, Royal Oak orders a box to go to Chicago or something like that. But now we're seeing, people buying a box in Troy and shipping it to West Bloomfield, where, 2 months ago you would have just drove over there and maybe had a barbecue or went to the park or done something else. But a lot of people are now kind of giving gifts as just a way to say, hey, thank you, or happy birthday, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just not really set up to be that beneficial in that way of somebody who maybe doesn't want to interact or go to the grocery store to make something easier, with like a specific box of like, yeah, if you want to buy a box of snacks and Michigan treats and, stuff like that, then that's like totally fine. But cleaning supplies, produce, canned goods, things like that just isn't something that we're set up for.
Awesome. And then Kat did chime in here too. She has a couple of questions for you from Bobian Foods. So she just asked if you could give her a call later. She put her
sure.
So wanted to make sure that was seen. But if there aren't any other questions, I'll throw it out there again. We want to say a huge thank you for coming on and talking with us today. We appreciate you taking time out of the day and helping us connect within our community. So it'll be cool to see how everyone kind of put some of this to use this week and going forward. So we really appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everybody have a great day.